happy new year. Happy old year to you and happy new year. Let's make it a good one. Okay? I will be here for you at least next year. Okay? So I say goodbye to TikTok in 2025. I'm saying hello to YouTube, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye. There we go. There we go. See, you guys switched faster than I did. Too funny. I wanted to just, knowing that it's the end of the year, it's the end of the world as we know it. Oh, my hair. I got to take a shower today. Anyhow, and this is a great thing too, because I love, hopefully you guys can see and hear me. Can you see and hear me? Because I screwed around with some things yesterday. Okay. There we go. Okay. Cat Roby. Thank you. Yes. So, yeah, seamless. I love it. I'm getting better at this, people. Yes. Happy old 2025 and happy new 2026 to you as well. To you as well. As I mentioned, as I was signing off from the TikTok live, I am feeling good. I feel good. I am feeling good about what I got done last year. Here, let me do that. Not so bright. There we go. Cat Roby sitting in a McDonald's and being productive and invisible. Hey, I saw the hearts and I knew Erin was in the house. Erin, there we go. So, yay. Yay for all the good stuff you did last year. If you practiced if you were picking up when I was putting down, hopefully you wrote those things down. Maybe you didn't. You're like, shit, as my friend Tommy Conwell would say. You can do it today. You can do it tonight. Use your calendar maybe as a reference. Looking back through your photos in your, looking back through your photos can remind you of the good things, right? So maybe you spend some time today jotting down the things that you took pictures of that made you feel good. Now, I literally have a picture of like a sunset and some pumpkins. I've got some morning glories. I see a band that I saw. I see some more. I saw a cobweb that looked cool. I see a cute picture. You want to see a cute picture of my husband from the 80s? I didn't even know him at this point, but check out this. Talk about, can you see that? I don't want to get the reflection. To talk about Tommy Conwell, wicked funny. So flip back on the pictures you took. Okay? Yeah. Look back on the pictures you took. Write down the things that made you feel good last year. It's probably going to be the things that make you feel good this year. Yeah, and isn't that crazy, Cat Roby? I know, it's funny. I said I had to wait for him to come down off his cloud and look more like regular people before we could start dating. Yeah. He looks like Austin Butler. I don't know him there. Yeah, I wish he was in Duran Duran. But here's the great thing. I'm like, oh my God, he looks like John Taylor. I used to love John Taylor. Not that I don't still love John Taylor, but he's getting a little too skinny and a little too old for me. All right. I like to hug a man that I don't feel like I'm going to crack his ribs when I give him the hug I want to give him. There we go. Duran Duran coming January 5th. See, Cat Roby? Duran, it's been ages. And you know what? Maybe I'll go with my sister someplace. So notice the things that still make you feel good, that maybe made you feel good from the 80s. Seeing Duran Duran, writing it down. Maybe I'll make that happen again. That feels like it could be fun. Okay. So I share with you, get in touch with what makes you feel good and make space in your calendar, in your life, in your home for what makes you feel good. And sometimes what makes you feel good is not having so much stuff, right? So use today and tomorrow. Please do. Maybe you're not even, you might be better served. You might be better served decluttering your brain a bit, decluttering your head to notice what touched your heart and writing that shit down. I'm going to do that today. I'm going to get some quiet time. I'm going to shut the door, even though Mr. Duran Duran might pop his head in and be like, do you have those TPS reports? No, he's usually saying, I'm making something to eat. Want to have some? And I'm going to remind myself of what made me feel good last year. I will then set an intention and say, I would like more of that, please. Please, sir, may I have some more? You know? Yeah. And Caprielle says, I love how photos of the year show the beauty of every day and big moments. Yes. Yeah, there are big moments, but the big moments are not the only things that make you feel good. Sometimes taking a walk and it's not so freaking cold, and you see the dew captured on a spider web and some beautiful flowers, and you can smell the air. Sometimes that can be as cool as going out to the place that everybody's talking about to go to the restaurant, Yeah. I love it. Yay, Kat Roby saw Duran in 87, won free tickets from the radio in a scrapbook. That makes me so happy. Yeah. So here's a funny thing, Joanne. I love that you're following up with this. So here's the neat thing, Joanne. So yesterday when we did the YouTube or the TikTok, and in case there's anybody new here, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered. I'm here on YouTube for like the next 54 minutes. Okay. So I'm here with plenty of time. So if you have any questions about decluttering, please put them in the chat. All right. But that being said, Joanne, let me explain how this went. Okay. So follow this. Yesterday, we were on a TikTok live and somebody said something about chili or white chicken chili. And I was like, ooh. And all of a sudden, something stirred in my body. I think it was my stomach going, that could taste good. And I remembered, and I had a picture in my head of having the recipe for this white chicken chili that I literally have had the recipe for well over 10, 11, 12 years. I tasted it once 10, 11, or 12 years ago, and I thought that tasted good. Give me the recipe. But for whatever reason, I did not make it in the last 10 years. Now, here's the funny thing, Joanne. I went to go look for that recipe, and I had 2 recipe books that I thought it might have been printed or written down and enfolded. I didn't find it. I have a feeling that at some point during the last 10 years, I said to myself, I haven't made this in 10 years. I probably won't make it. So I'm going to let go of this. So I was kind of surprised not to find it. But the neat thing is that I was able to use that excuse to open up my recipe book to take a fresh look at the recipes I had saved and do the same thing. Also knowing full well, if I wanted to make the white chicken chili, I can just go on the internet and look up a recipe. Okay, Kelly Smith, I would love your recipe. If you want to email it to me, beth@destinationdecluttered.com, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I think one of the things that I thought about that, because I'm thinking deeper, like it tasted good. It had a lot of heavy products in it. And I was thinking, oh, that sounds like, we would say in my family, like a belly bomb. Like you eat it and then it's like a lot of cheese, a lot of heavy stuff. Now I love that, but I can only eat small amounts of it. But the neat thing was, though, I will share with you, is that I came across a recipe on paper, handwritten in the handwriting of my now passed mother-in-law for a chicken wild rice casserole. So very simply. Okay, good. Yeah, the other one. Yeah. Okay, Kelly, I love it. Yours has cream cheese in it. Joanne, if you want to send me yours too, I would love that. Because I think the one I had cream cheese in it. But Kelly, I like yours isn't heavy. So neat things happening. I was able to pull out that recipe and say to my husband, because I had said, hey, do you want some white chicken chili? I think I have the recipe. But then I said, hey, why don't we make your mom's recipe? It's still as kind of hearty and it still has chicken and it's still white. And your mom made this and thought it was good enough that she wrote down the recipe. So why don't we do that? And it turned something that was like a sentimental recipe from some nice but random person that I worked with to a lot more of a personal recipe and getting to see it. So today, one of the things we're going to do is go out to the grocery store and buy those ingredients and probably make that tomorrow because tonight we're going to a party. But all of that started with somebody mentioning something that sparked an idea. And I found a recipe. No lie, you guys. I have a recipe that I cut out of a Martha Stewart magazine that I picked up somewhere 25 years ago. Have I made it? No, but I looked at it and I was like, this is going to be the summer where I'm going to make that thing. And I'm going to get help with a friend of mine because it still is intriguing. But there were plenty of other recipes that I had that I'm like, if I haven't made it in 10 years, I'm probably not going to make it. But there was one or two that I did write down in my book. So it gave me an opportunity to just notice what I saved, ask myself, do I want to eat that now or in the future, and declutter it. So thank you, everybody who mentioned the white chicken chili. It has prompted us to also use something we have, which is that neat recipe from my husband's mom. So, hey, yes, nostalgia. Looking back. All right, Kat Roby has got her checklist going. She's 1, catalog payments from 2 units, 2, write checks to drop, and 3, make a map of the rest of the errands. I love it. I love it. Judy Dukes, good morning. Good morning. So we will be, per the encouragement of Judy Dukes, I am declaring this. Now, my January is looking, there's a couple of tentatives. Pardon me. I got distracted by a sound. Oh, it's just the mail carrier. All right. What I mean to say is, I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, Sunday, I am scheduling 2 declutter parties on Sunday. One will be from 9 to 10:30. And then the next one, for those who want to sleep in or those from another time zone, will be 11 to 12:30, right? So I'm going to write this down so I remember. It's going to be 9 to 10:30 Sunday, and then 11, because I need a half hour in between, shift gears, walk around, that type of thing. 11 to 12:30 Sunday. And Sunday's what? No, notice I'm doing this. Sunday, it's not March, people. Sunday, January 4. All right. So one of the things I will be putting on my list of things to do today is to get the tickets for that. Okay. You showing up on right now, you're the first people to hear about this besides Judy Dukes. And you can look at your calendar and see if your time will allow you to show up for a decluttering party. I thought it would be great to do it on the weekend and right before a lot of people kind of go back into the regular Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And I know that not everybody's in the same time zone. I also know that my husband and I are making plans and filling in our weekends. So I may have fewer declutter parties than I have in past months because I also think it's important for me to do the things that make my life full. Because what I don't want to do is come here resentfully. Now, there we go. I love it. Barbara, so nice to see you, Lady Bandit. Erin, Barbara says, I got distracted between TikTok and YouTube. Yeah, notice how easily we can be. At least half of it was decluttering or organizing. Fine. There we go. Therapy Gal Sue is being inspired by Kat Roby. Hey, Sue. She says, 1, open my mail for the week. 2, sort returns. And 3, write Sunday party on my calendar. See, we get some party people in the house already. All righty. Oh, hey. Now, Gardening Girl, in New England 65. I know that's Erin because I can see that little green garden head. My husband decided that next year, 26-27, is his last year teaching. Definitely fast tracking us into our next chapter. Belt tightening, selling, and budgets. Oh boy, nervous but excited. Yeah. Yeah. So I knew that was you, Kara, and I love it. But notice this, and I was riffing on this, and you will appreciate this because you're from Mass. He's using his blinker, right? He has indicated to you and to himself, I will be changing lanes and giving you like a year and a half or something to prepare for that change. So yay for that. Yay for that. I think that's a great thing. Now, I work for myself, but even now I've noticed myself saying, okay, what do I want this next year to look like? I don't know what I will want to do in 2027. I truly hope that I'm as excited about my coaching and I continue it. But if I'm not, I'm going to trust that if I'm feeling called to do something else. So indicate to yourself, allow yourself the opportunity to shift lanes. Hey, this feels good. Erin is saying returns felt so satisfying yesterday. Yeah. Letting go of what you don't want and acting upon that, making sure that your home isn't filled with things that you do not want, and then taking the action sooner rather than later. That is awesome, Erin. I love that because many times people wait until the very end and then you just end up living longer with the physical item and the thought of I have to do something. Oftentimes, I think what helps a lot is to have the idea and I don't want to say the execution of the idea, but that's what my brain almost said, but I don't like execution. Having the idea and then doing the thing, just tightening up the time between those two. Yeah, I love it. And yeah, notice Erin likes that feeling of getting her money back. Also, Kat Roby is so proud to exchange the present I got from my mother-in-law for the size and color that I prefer, and let her know it was as it was a no big deal. It feels so good to be real, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Yeah. Instead of pretending to be something you're not, to be like, hey, you know what? I know you love purple and blue. That's my mother. I do not like purple and blue. So thank you so much for the sweater, but I am going to exchange it for a color that I like. Yeah. 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 And Barbara, notice that Erin is giving you the idea of, oh, what do I want? What do I want to do? Now I'm doing this because I'm pointing up to my 2025 version of what do I want? And then I say, then state I am creating. So even right now, Barbara, you are creating a vision of what you think that might look like, even if it's 2 years to go, or 3 years or 4 years. But you are starting to develop your destination. And sometimes, as we say, getting to that destination may take a while, but as you do it, you know you're working towards something. I know a lot of people in my life right now, because, oops, excuse me, we are around the same age. Many people I know are going for early retirement and prepping for it, or even saying, I just have to make it through these next 2 years. Oh boy, farm girl got an unexpected new puppy. Oh my goodness. Well, congratulations. Congratulations. I will offer to you from personal experience, and this was more when our dog turned old, but your puppy may help you declutter because that pup is going to root out everything that it wants to chew on and pee on and poop on. So that can kick you into some high gear to get things puppy proofed. But congratulations. I hope that is a welcomed unexpected gift versus a oh my god what the hell kind of gift. Okay? So yay. Good morning, Cynthia. Good morning, Cynthia. So it's 10:18 in the morning where I am, and I'm going to spend some time today. Yay, you've been wanting one. Okay, awesome. Yeah. I'm going to spend some time today in a little bit of quiet, and I'm going to reflect on, and I'm going to write down. And I will probably write it down in if you guys were in the TikTok, you know that I'm calling this my mac and cheese book because it's the color of mac and cheese. It's not quite orange and it's not quite yellow. All right. And I'm going to write down the good stuff that happened last year. And you have clues in your life. I have a calendar of travel I can document. I could have, and this is a funny thing, like I could technically look at my my Google Calendar, but there's a lot of stupid, boring stuff there. Like 11 a.m., I drove home from someplace. Oh, I'm not going to put all that stuff there. Picking out the good stuff that really resonates with you and asking yourself, what do I want? Do I want more of that to happen in the new year? And then you make that list from your old list. I want more beautiful sunsets. I want to notice more beautiful sunsets. I want to travel more or as much as I did last year or to places I haven't been yet. Yeah. And I will share this with you too. Thinking about the things we want, and we touched upon this, and I think Kat Roby's the one who brought it up, is as we get older, putting the things that are going to be dependent on your physical activity and your mental activity, bump those up to the top of the list. Kara's saying her husband will be 62 and loved teaching. Loved teaching. Notice it's already in the past tense. But it's gotten so difficult with administration, parents, etc. It feels like, and I'm ad-libbing here, it's time. Self-care, 100%. I am making a big plan to pay down all our debt before then. You can make it happen. Look at how good you've been. And notice when you have a destination, a reason to sell stuff, a reason, I'm going to pay down our debt before my husband retires. We're going to pay down our debt. So you may look at things that you are nice to have in your house, but if you might be able to flip it perhaps and not really, it really not negatively impact your life, then you may think, well, I could sell my insert thing here and then put that towards the peace of mind, because paying down of debt really to me is giving your sense that peace of mind, that security of, I don't have anything kind of hanging over my head. And also realizing that I feel like I saw this, I think it was, what's her name? Jane Fonda was talking about kind of the three, like kind of the three, I don't know, things of life. Age 0 to 30, 30 to 60 is another one, and then 60 to 90 plus, if you're so lucky. And I love that idea because I totally feel a different shift. I have carried things with me for 30, 40, 50 years now that I can easily let go of now. And so I'm doing it. And I've changed my habits, so I'm not keeping as many things. And this feels good to me right now. But even this last third of my life, it's kind of creepy to think last third, but this third of my life, to me, I know is going to be different because I'm observing it in people around me. 60 to 70 is going to be different from 70 to 80. And then that's going to be different from 80 to 90. And what I see is even if the spirit is willing, the human body will be taking a decline. So front loading your 60s, frankly, with the good stuff you want to do, to me does two things. It increases the likelihood that you will be available to fully participate in things that in a way that you want to. And also, instead of being older and having regrets, you can look back at this time and have memories. Okay? So I share this, just the concept that's going through my life with you, because I am being a bit more strategic. Whereas I honestly feel like the ages between 20 and 60 was almost like a plateau. Like it just was pretty much the same. I felt the same in my 30s and my 40s and my 50s. But already at the tail end of my 50s, I'm feeling different. So I know that feeling different physically, I mean, looking different, look at all these wrinkles. My God. Using that change that I cannot stop to inform what I do and when I do it. That's where I'm at. So I will be looking at my next year a lot differently than I maybe did for the past 30 years. Like, oh, it's just another summer. Okay, that's fun. Not realizing that my body could change. All right. Yeah. And what I would say this too, I don't like that I'm in that last group, said Judy Dukes. Me neither, but everybody, if we're lucky enough to make it, think of how lucky you are to be in that last third. Because I have friends that never even made it into their 50s. I look back now and I see somebody's name and I say, oh my God, she was only 35 when she passed away. She was just a baby. And what I say to you, Judy Dukes, is you're lucky to be in this last group because not many people, there are far fewer people on the planet that get to be that age. So be appreciative of it and do the things that you want to do in honor of the people who can't do them. Use that as a bit of a kick in the pants. Okay? Yeah. So lucky to still be here and be as young and as strong as we are right now. We will never be as young as we are today, ever again. Tomorrow, we're going to be a day older, a day older, a day older. So embrace your youth right now. Okay? And yeah. And it does sound like, and this bums me out because teachers are so important. This is a tough time we're going through. So my heart goes out to the teachers we have who go into it wanting to help people, the teachers we have, and the people related to them. It is not easy. And you can do whatever you can to change the system. But when that's not working, self-care, self-preservation, because you can't help anybody else if you're not feeling good yourself, if you're having a breakdown. So plan for your future and front load it with good stuff. That's what I say. That's what I'm going to do. That's why I am re-upping my, what do I want to say? My desire, my request, my, resolution. I'm going to resolve to continue to become a better, more comfortable international traveler. Now, I traveled a lot last year. I didn't travel as much internationally as I like to, but I am going to practice that this coming year, as well as travel locally and say yes to opportunities that come up as opposed to saying, no, we can't. Looking at the bank account and saying, we have the money to do that. Let's do it, because that opportunity will only come up once in a lifetime. That opportunity will not be there again. And I say to myself, how will I feel if I miss it? And if I will regret missing it, let's find a way to do it. Oh, oh, Barbara, that's heartbreaking. Barbara just shares a teacher friend died at 62 before Christmas. That's the thing that we all are going to be challenged with, is if we knew you had from this age, birth until death, and you knew when that was, you'd be able to easily parse things out. But none of us know when our last day is. So I say, get the good stuff done sooner. Farm Girl says you give the best advice on the internet. Honestly, I'm speaking from the heart, and I'm speaking to myself as much as I'm speaking to you. So thank you for letting me know that I'm not alone in thinking these things. But let's use this thinking to create the action that if we are dying sooner than we had wanted to, we can be like, well, man, I'm glad I did all that stuff. Like my dad got sick in his 60s. My mother-in-law got sick in her 60s and both of them, it happened after they had stuck it out, working these long jobs till that retirement age. And then their enjoyment of life, that true kind of like, I'm retired, was minuscule. So in hindsight, I am so glad that my dad took as much time to do the things he wanted to when he was growing and living. Now, as a kid, I kind of resented it because we didn't spend a lot of time together. Now I'm grateful that he had the opportunity to do those things. And because sometimes when you push it off, oh, I won't do that until I retired. Sometimes you can't. Yeah. Uh-huh. And I love it. So Garden Girl, yeah, high school kids. It's a tough world. Yeah, I left first grade in 2020. It did teach me to sort things, like things together. Yeah, and I loved the kids. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, oh, Cat Roby. Again, cautionary tales abound, people. Kat says, I had a friend who was preparing to move to Paris in the spring after many years of working and putting it off. Just passed away a few days ago. Yeah. Yeah. So think about that. when you are sitting down today and tomorrow with your notebook, think about that. What is something you've been putting off, pushing off, and you can figure out why later, but write it down. Why do you keep on kicking that down the road? I know myself, frankly, I'll be honest with you. One of mine is a trip to Australia. Now, I know it's a long distance and it's going to cost money, and that country is so big, but I'm using those big things. Notice the big is overwhelming, and I just need to chunk it down. And I already am working on that. So use these people's, this is what I think of. I had a friend who passed away when we were in college. I was 18, maybe 19, so was she. We just never know. So let's use that to kick ourselves in the pants. Okay? Let's have their deaths before they got to live be a motivator for us to fully live in honor of our own life, but also doing it for the people who are not here anymore. Really living before we might get sick and all of a sudden we're sitting in a recliner in our apartment. While carpe diem, seize the day, joie de vivre, joy of life. Really, we are not getting any younger. And so let's make the most. And when I say the most, a lot of that stuff that means the most, it may be a big trip across the planet in a lie flat seat to go meet people you're allegedly related to and stuff like that. It could also be taking time every day to do something that at the end of that day, you can write down something good. So even if I'm housebound and bedbound at whatever age, I could look back, on Tuesday, December 31st of 2024 and remember what I did and conjure that picture up because I have a visual reminder and I could think back on the time and feel that. Yeah. Last year on this day, I puttered and decluttered and I chilled before our friend's party. And that's probably exactly what I'm going to do today. And then I said, actually reviewing my 2020 plus books, I realize, I'll just read what I wrote because I wrote it down here. Last year at this time, between 2024 and 2025, I'm there. I love that. I'm there. It feels natural and aligned. And I did the things to make this happen. What is this? What do I want for 2025? I wrote to myself, same as I did in 2024. Flexibility, enjoyment, travel, warm places, broaden international travel confidence. Notice these things will come up. I don't feel like I'm there yet with that. Love myself no matter how I look or feel. Expand my comfort zone. Savor and appreciate. Help others. And I love it. The very next day, it wasn't international, but I booked a trip to Savannah and San Diego using 5 free Marriott nights. That's kind of fun. So I share with you, please quiet down the chaos of today, even for just a half an hour or an hour. Do the same thing tomorrow. See, the same things may come up. Whatever comes up, write it down. I would also offer, do this work in your crappy notebook. And then the stuff you decide you want to keep, write that kind of more declaratively in your good book. Now you will notice in my good book here today, my December 30th and 31st are very small today because I want to use this page to not only review and say, these are all the cool things that happened to me in 2025. And I want to use all of these lines. But then when I turn the page, I'm going to write down, and this, my friend, is what I look forward to. I look forward to this happening in my future. And I don't just look forward and hope and pray, wishing and hoping and praying. Then I chunk it down. And I do a little thing. Every little step I take, and I will get there. So notice, I am noticing the recurring theme of international travel with me, not just travel. I am comfortable with domestic travel. Obviously, there's a little difference to me. And so I might sit there again with my trusty notebook and write down, what is it that scares me? What am I afraid of internationally that I haven't fully I will bring it up to the surface and I will write it down. And then I will do that having folded the paper in half. What am I afraid of? And then how can I be less afraid? Am I afraid of the language barrier? Am I afraid of the monetary exchanges? Do I have evidence? I also may need to remind myself of all the places that we traveled internationally. That was pretty low key, like it was pretty easy. So I will be working on that. And I'm going to write that one down too. Notice I've got Herb Alpert, I've got Duran Duran, and I'm going to be mining. I'm going to go deeper into international travel. Now, I know one of the reasons that my husband and I have not internationally traveled as much in the past years, and it may not be this year, is because he has a flexible schedule. And so we need to, it's always a dance of when we can do travel that's not involved with, that aligns with his gig schedules. But it will be interesting for me to get some more clarity, to bring up to the surface, what are the fears that I have that are stopping me from being as comfortable? And I don't think it's that much difference. I literally feel like my nervous system, my what do you call that thing? Like the geodesic dome of saran wrap that I like to call my nervous system, my comfort zone. It's really just maybe a foot or two difference. It's just another push to be as comfortable traveling internationally as I am nationally. So when you have those fears, it may not be the big scary thing. It may just be a few little rando thoughts that you haven't kind of tidied up, that are stopping you from being more comfortable with what you have. I think it's great that Carol was talking about her husband and all the things. Notice the idea of retirement brings up a lot of feelings. Notice the feelings tend to bubble up. So they obviously start around here, but the feelings bubble up and then they interact with the words in your head. Articulating those, getting them out of you and onto a piece of paper can help you make a plan. One of the things that Kara's probably going to do is saying, how much debt do we have? Not being afraid of so much debt, but being like, okay, we are $200,000 in debt. I'm making this up. Okay, if that's the number, what can I do to chip away at it? Getting more clarity. Now, I look forward to this process because I know when I do it, it ends up with me expanding my world and my comfort zone. So I just walk you through my personal process of this, of one thought that I have, so that you can kind of try that on and say, well, what is it for you? What is it? I mean, and feel free to put it in the comments. What is something that you want to get more comfortable with in the next year? Now, I love it. Penny Myers, right on. Regarding travel, I've been using packing cubes and zip bags. Me too. I love it. It's easier to find things and very much less intimidating to unpack what I did not wear. Notice chunking it down, getting clarity, fitting things in. I love that. I will share with you when I went up to New England this weekend for Christmas. The day I left, there was a lot of chaos going on, unnecessary chaos. But so what I ended up doing is something I haven't done in years because I love packing cubes, is I just kind of threw the clothes that I wanted in, and then I used a packing cube for some random things. And it was more difficult to figure out what was clean and dirty. I ended up almost leaving some stuff at somebody else's house. So yeah, I like packing cubes myself. So yay for packing cubes. So I love getting into the habit of checking in with myself. And then not just saying, yep, that's it, but saying, okay, what am I going to do about it? If I wanted to change, what am I going to do about it? Now, much like many people, people have hired me as their one-on-one coach. One of the things that's making me more comfortable with international travel is having somebody to help me with that. And I am working with a travel advisor who is a lot more comfortable with the international travel because that's their job. You know? Yeah. And here's a fun thing, Garden Girl in 65, Kara, notice it could have been $200,000, but notice, oh my God, that number makes me feel a certain way. And then you're almost relieved when you realize that your debt is way less than that number. So notice that. Oh my God, it's not $200,000. It's only, and using that word only, we only are this amount of money in debt. Going to start selling more stuff. Smart spending will help too. Yeah. And smart spending will also, both of those things will also help you declutter your home. And a lot of deep yoga breathing. Yeah. Number one with a bullet is, how do I feel physically? And if you're starting to feel anxious and hyperventilating, breathe down, slow down, calm down, all the downs. Yeah. All righty. So Barbara says, my puttering has led me to the Comcast bills from 1998, which I'm shredding and recycling, but not the jeans and credit cards I need to find today. Okay, so this is why many people, I got to stop using many people. That's really bugging me. This is why a wicked lot of people I have known use the St. Anthony, look around, something that's lost that must be found. Sometimes I will I will close my eyes and I will endeavor to look at things with fresh eyes. I will also try to go and paper trail myself. Where was I the last time I used that credit card? Yeah. And I will say this too. Barbara, you have my prayers, but also this is another thing where when you start to get nervous about it and you can't find it, that can activate your nervous system and it narrows your focus. And sometimes a narrow focus can be good, but other times you just need to open up and say, okay, if it's not where I thought it would be, where's like another place where it might be? Okay, I had them on Monday. And this is where it can also be helpful to look back on your calendar. What did I do on Monday? Where was I? And especially this week, many of us are kind of off of our schedules. So you have done different things on this past Monday. I don't even know what day. Today's only Wednesday. So the good news is they still existed in this plane of existence. Penny Myers is offering, what jacket did you wear? Yeah, I would say, where did you get undressed? Where did you change your clothes? Did you buy anything with a credit card online that you may need to pull it up and put it in front of your computer? Also, especially if you're going out in the car to look for it, calm down, be methodical, and do not get yourself all revved up. I have found things that I thought were lost in the car, and our car is very neat, but I found a Starbucks gift card somebody gave my husband, and it somehow ended up being almost like magnetized or attached to the inside of one of the little pockets on the door. It was there for months. And then I happened to be vacuuming out the car once, and I was on the passenger side, and I just happened to see it. But it is there. Okay? Trust that they are there and feel like you will find them. Okay? But don't get your nervous system worked up. It will not help. The fear of, oh shit, what if it's gone? What if I lost it? Blah, 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 will make it more difficult for you to discover those things. All right? Let us know when you find them, Barbara. Okay? And knowing that tomorrow, we also have a TikTok and a YouTube scheduled. If you're tuning in tomorrow, even if you're not planning it, all right, please tune in and let us know that you found those things, okay? Because it's so funny. I talk about the hive mind. That's what they're calling the thing in pluribus, but all of us are rooting for you. And this is another thing that may help. What's the absolute worst thing that can happen if I don't find them? Go there. Well, I'd need to cancel all my credit cards. whatever, like articulate what you're afraid of, and it may take some of the energy out of it as well. Yay, Penny Myers, all unpacked from my trip to my daughter. Yay, unpacking. Yeah, we put the things in we think we need. And notice, Penny, you brought things that you thought you needed, but you ended up not needing them. That's one of the fun things I think is about travel, is reminding yourself how little you truly need. Okay. Okay. LA Fitness. Yeah, there actually is this deceased dads went to Costco for his rewards that expire today. They said, I need a death certificate. Went back with death certificate and cards were AWOL. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Lady Bandit found a gift card I thought was lost when she cleaned her truck. Yeah. So notice Barbara, mix up those things. And notice how much more stressed we can be when there's a due date of things aspire today. That happened to me. I had some Marriott upgrades that I ended up I'm going to have to eat because they will not extend the due date, you know. And then the other thing too, Barbara, again, the other worst case scenario is, how much are my dad's Costco rewards? If they expire, how will I feel if they expire? Now, I really was trying to make work both I had a United credit that had to expire, and also like 4 upgrades from Marriott that had to expire because I couldn't use them in time. And when I called to ask for an extension, because why the hell not? They said no. So then I had to work on my nervous system to say, it is okay that I cannot use these. All right. And Barbara, I just offer this to you because if you calm down your nervous system to say, if I find them, it's great. I will continue to look for them, but I will get comfortable with the idea that it will be okay if I don't find them. Yes, I get it, Barbara. It won't be the end of the world. And trust me, I really did things I wanted to, I thought I could do. I did what I could to make what I wanted to do happen. And many times that works, but occasionally it doesn't. Barbara is breathing. Let's all breathe with Barbara, shall we? We've got what, 13 minutes together? We'll send up a St. Anthony. St. Anthony, St. Anthony, look around. Barbara lost something that can't be found. Calm down your nervous system. Expand your comfort zone. Being comfortable with, I will look for these and I will find it. I will not give up, but I will feel comfortable and I will be able to see things because I know this has happened to all of us. You are looking for something and you swear it is not around, and then you find it. And it's almost as if it was hiding in plain sight, right? So oftentimes when we calm down our nervous system, we are able to observe more, and you might get some clues. Pausing to close eyes and take deep breaths. And Emma, who is St. Anthony, I don't know, he's a saint. He's a St. Anthony. That's when the Google will help. I just know because I grew up in the Catholic Church and with some Italian people, and that's who they reach out to. But notice, you're getting help from somebody. You're not alone. Calming down your nervous system. We are all here helping Barbara find her stuff. Yeah. And Kat Roby is offering, I like to think to myself for some situation, will this matter in 10 hours? Will this matter in 10 days? Will this matter in 10 weeks? Right. And yes, St. Anthony, look around. Notice when you feel like you're not alone. And even if the bad thing happens, you're going to deal with it. The funny thing will be, and notice I'm talking about when Barbara finds the jeans and the credit cards. Suddenly she'll be like, oh, that's right. I did the thing that was different from my routine. This is every time I used to lock my keys in my car back in the day when you could do that. I always knew that it was when I got thrown off of my routine of getting out of the car that I put the keys, in my lap, or I was reaching for something and I put them and they slid between the chair, the seat, and the console. It was because I was doing something different than my routine, because in my routine, I usually do this, 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 and this. So when you go to look for something, you kind of backtrack your trail. Yes, and exactly, Kat Roby. That's a good one. Sometimes, will it be worth my hours of feeling distress to find this amount of credit or coupon? Yeah. Like, and that's what I do a lot with travel as well. I'll share with you is that I will have an idea of a plan. And sometimes you do it and you feel like you're coming up against a wall. And I honor that feeling. If it doesn't feel like it's working out, I will note that and I will trust that this wasn't the time we were supposed to travel. There are other times where something comes up and we say, can we do it? And there's their hotel and we're doing it. This just came up literally last night. And I was like, yeah, let's make that happen. So treat yourself kindly during the process. Yeah, because your time is something you'll never get back. And the time you spend agitated, you would rather spend calm. So our hearts are going out to you, Barbara. I'm hoping you can find that stuff. Please tune in or shoot me an email, beth@destinationdecluttered.com. Shoot me an email when you find the stuff and learn about yourself. Oh, yeah, that's why that happened. Because I was so distracted. As I said, I was at a friend's house this past weekend. And luckily, my husband left after me because I had to take my mom somewhere. And I said, okay, I think I have everything. I'm good. And he was like, yeah, you forgot this and this. And it was because my mind was elsewhere. I was distracted from what I was doing in the packing up. And I got distracted because a lot of stuff was going on. And one of the things I left kind of bled into the background. Now, this is the problem with wearing all black clothes. But luckily, somebody was helping me and I found it. And even if I did leave it there, what was the worst thing that could happen? I left some dirty clothes at a friend's house. I'll pick them up the next time. Okay. Now, speaking of picking up, I wonder if that is, I believe that's my husband checking the mail. So it is not Tuesday, December 30th. It is Wednesday, December 31st. This is my dad's birthday. He would have been 89 years old today. But he didn't even make it to 75. Yeah, sucks. He didn't know that. We didn't know that. But stuff like that happens. So I live my life in honor of the people who didn't get to live my lives. You know, I also look, and I will share this with you because we have many women in the chat. Even looking back historically at the generations that came before us, how lucky we are to be allowed to plan our futures, that it's not left to somebody else and what they want us to do. I really feel like I'm the first generation of my entire family's existence that truly gets to do whatever I want. And I want to bring my ancestors along with me for this ride. Yeah. Penny Myers, my heart goes out to you. Yeah. I love it, Lady Bandit, firing Starbucks. Yeah, it was weird. Somebody gave him a Starbucks gift card, but we never go to Starbucks. That's probably why we didn't mind losing it. Yeah. So I say this to you as just kind of a sobering but empowering thing. I am the first person in the generation of my family who has the agency, who gets to decide what I want to do and make it happen. And I say that to you not to overwhelm you, but to inspire you. And imagine all of the people in your past who didn't have that opportunity. I love bringing them along with me mentally because I can't do it physically. That'd be weird. Yeah. And standing on the shoulders of those who came before us, and also knowing that we are a generation that does get to do this. So what can we do so that somebody else can stand on our shoulders and not be back to square one? What can we do so our nieces and nephews and kids and people we meet can do even better than we do And we feel good about our participation in that. I wouldn't be here without that encouragement and that forward progression in my family. How can I live in a way that inspires and encourages the younger generations in our family? And I do it by living a life that I would be inspired by, a life of knowing there's a world out there, not just this tiny sliver, you know? And I think it's working. I do. Both all of my nieces and nephews are in college. They're at better schools than I went to. My niece and my nephew, one's going to school, one just got a new job out of college. They are both states away from where our family grew up in a tight, small, New Englandy thing. They are expanding their comfort zone to live in a different part of the country and the world. That expansion of comfortable to be a global citizen, to work, know that it's not just this tiny little thing, but we are part of what's going on in the world. And I have an aunt who, man, if you saw her itinerary for the next 3 months in Southeast Asia, she's in her late 60s and she and her husband are trucking along. Okay. Oh, McDougs, thank you. I really needed this today. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. But you know what? I couldn't do this without you. I'd feel like a total dork if I was sitting here talking into an empty screen. I might still do it because I'm a nut like that and hope that it reached somebody. But it's so much easier when I know that I've got people that I'm connecting with and you tell me that I'm on the right track with you. So it gives me the courage to expand and go deeper. Because then that sets you up to be like when I leave here, it's like, yeah, this doesn't really, a lot of this stuff is going to be easier to deal with. The surface stuff is easier to deal with when you realize the deeper stuff that counts. Yay, Lady Bandit says this live is a keeper. I will definitely be listening to this one again. And I will say, I will label it as, it will be the last video in the December 2025 playlist. End of year, beginning of new one thing. Okay. And hey, yeah, Garden Girl, me too. I did not, as you might be able to see, I did not shower yesterday, but I was cool with it. Today, I'm feeling a little bit grungy and not like Nirvana grungy. Okay. So the cool thing is we've got a few minutes left. So I will kind of wrap this up just so you know. I love it. You have Savor stuff in the car, selling a few things, shipping 2 boxes, all of those things. Oh, sending your youngest your aluminum tree. What a good, cool mom you are. All of those things are also helping you get to destination hubby retiring in 2 years. And you're feeling good about doing it. So the neat thing is that even though today is end of one year, beginning of another, it's also a Wednesday and tomorrow is a Thursday. And what I am going to do is I'm going to show up. I'm going to wind down here. I'm going to do some stuff. I'm going to promise. I'm going to follow through with the writing down that I said I was going to do. And I hope you do it too. And then tomorrow we'll show up with some grand plans, but also we'll chunk it down to a day to say, what can we do? What can we do just tomorrow to go 1 inch, one like little block ahead in the game of life in your little plastic car with the little stick people. Okay. Now I'm going to wind down. Cat Roby has got a bunch of green check marks. I love it. Farm Girl, thanks for the hearts. Thank you for all you've taught us. You're welcome. I'm happy to do this. And my one hope is that you use what I'm offering and to help your life be the one you want. And then you showing up as that evidence of it working will inspire somebody else. And it's like a Fabergé organic shampoo commercial, people. And you tell 2 friends and so on and so on and so on and so on. It's a nice positive ripple effect. And I'm happy to be part of it. Okay. So Happy New Year. I'll see you tomorrow. And so on and so on. Exactly. And thank you, everybody who offered to send me recipes. Barbara, let us know when you find your stuff. I'm going to look up Duran Duran. I can't make it on the 5th, but I can see where they're traveling and maybe see if my sister wants to travel somewhere weird and go see them. That could be fun. And I wish you all the best, and I see you tomorrow. Okay.